Reddit, can you name one thing that is and will remain impossible? Writing a Turing machine to solve a halting problem. Explain like I'm 5. Basically you can't write a program that says that given an arbitrary program as input, with arbitrary input itself, whether it will ever stop calculating or calculate forever. Or if you'll exhibit. You can't program your program to tell you if all programs will always program. Dog. Honestly, your exhibit explanation made more sense to me than the first one. Thanks. Describing a new color. Try describing a known color. This. Hey, do you think the color we call red looks the same to you as it does to me? Good question. Why don't we both write down how it looks to us and we'll see if our description match. Red. It's a match. To grow your dong 3 inches in 3 simple steps. Your dong doesn't grow at least 3 inches when you fap. Not everyone is a grower. Listing all of the numbers between 0 and 1. Reciting pi. Backwards. Perpetual motion machines. Lisa. In this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics. Colonize the sun. We could wait until it's night or winter so the sun is cold enough to walk on it. No man, that wouldn't work. We'd have to leave the sun each day when it got too hot. All we have to do is go to the other side so we can colonize the dark side of the sun. Genius. Canceling a printer job. Only way is with a sledgehammer. Back up in your ass with the resurrection. I really hope that time travel remains impossible. That shit would have too much power to change things. It's best left alone. I always though, what if time travel existed, and as a result our reality changed and we're actually a separate timeline from the original timeline? Getting through a cave without encountering a single Zubat. Max repels. Bitch. Rick Astley giving you up. Rick Astley letting you down. Rick Astley running you around and deserting you. Rick Astley making you cry. Rick Astley saying goodbye. Finishing the bottles of shampoo and conditioner at the same time. I read a lot of suggestions that are highly unlikely, but not impossible. Eat an entire building and poop it out as diamond in 6 milliseconds. Building material, diamond. Building size, tiny. You and your bowels are in a spaceship moving 99.9999999% the speed of light. While you digest and poop out the tiny diamond building, an on-moving observer sees the event take place in 6 milliseconds. Get at me. Orange juice flavored toothpaste. A perfect season in baseball. As a Mets fan, I would be happy to even win half a season's worth of games. As an Astros fan, I would be happy to even win over a third of a season's worth of games. As a Mariners fan, well, as a Rockies fan. Achieving a temperature lower than absolute zero. Fart so hard you lift from ground. O ye of little faith. Nailing jello to a tree. The roommate switch. A girl being able to touch their elbows together is impossible. Had to come read this thread after watching my partner squeeze her boobs together. Thank you. Dividing by zero. As a black hole, I can confirm this is impossible. Today I learned black holes Reddit. Of course they do. They're not slaves anymore to white holes. Folding fitted sheets. Leaving all snarky jokes aside, I'd say it's impossible to truly know another person. We might get to know parts of them, but even those close to us will always have hidden sides. Some people hide their gaming forums. Damn, and I went a whole day without someone bringing it up. Taylor Swift getting back together with her ex. But what if he calls her up on the phone and is all like, I still love you. And she is all like, all just, she means that this is just exhausting, you know? Then, like, they are never getting back together. Like, ever. Whoa, Reddit. 4 people who claim not to like Taylor Swift's music. You are familiar with the lyrics. Fapping to Susan Boyle. Challenge accepted. Tyrone getting his shit together. Half-Life 3. Shut your damn mouth. Shut equals 1. Your equals 2. Damn equals 3. Mouth equals 4. Half-Life 3 confirmed. Getting off Reddit when you promised yourself you would. Getting Reddit off, on the other hand, is a different story. On the other hand, well, we would use the same hand. Surprise, nobody has said walking into murder yet. It's not impossible. It's just not done simply. Telling someone this phrase without sounding like an asshole. No, blank. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to blank. I've tried to say it nicely so many times, but it never works. The existence of nothing. It's a made up concept. Nothingness can't exist in the universe as we know it. Slamming a revolving door. Step 1. Nail a piece of wood to the wall. Step 2. Slam revolving door. Step 3. Step 4. Profit. In this thread, people joke about unlikely things being impossible. I know, a post on Reddit where someone doesn't sarcastically attack the premise. Impossible. 2 plus 2 would never be 5. Sometimes it is. So long as the party says it to be 5, it is 5. Tom York would disagree. Proving that God doesn't exist. Checkmate atheists. Proving that God does exist. Reverse checkmate. Proving that Zeus Jupiter doesn't exist. Roman checkmate. I bring shame to Roman, Greek scholars everywhere. Capturing the king. Chess checkmate. Time travel and faster than light travel. We may find loopholes or other caveats, but just straight up time travel or FTL will always be impossible. I'm time traveling right now. For every second that passes, I move 1 second further in time. LOL, okay, I should have been more specific. Travel backwards in time. Forward is easy, just go a significant fraction of c. Boom, future. 2 parallel lines intersecting. They can do that in certain non-Euclidean geometries. Going faster than the speed of light. My husband changing the toilet paper roll. Wives who won't stop complaining. Frickin' got EM. Hey, shout out to Ray guys. Heyo. Not reading this sentence. Not for all the people who won't read it when I downvote it. Just kidding. I want to inflict this on them too. To grasp how large infinite is. Make a square circle. Make pi a rational number. Reviving yourself after death. Proving something doesn't exist. Making something quickly, perfectly, and cheaply simultaneously. An internally combustible engine that is 100% efficient. Of course any engine works here, but I see is the bottom of the bucket. Minnesota Vikings winning the Super Bowl. I disagree with the bringing yourself back to life. You could throw those defib things in the air, die, then have them land in the right spot and be brought back to life. To definitively state that something is and always will be impossible. To catch a fart in painted green. Fitting your hand more than halfway down the damn Pringles can. No arguments or name calling in a YouTube comment section. Creating a triangle with only 2 sides. This is kind of a tautology though. It's also impossible for an apple to be an orange, or more generally for anything that is defined to be one thing to also simultaneously be something else that is in contradiction to that first definition. What about quantum physics? To exist in 2 states simultaneously seems like an extension of being one thing and simultaneously being another thing. This is an interesting point. A great example of what you are talking about would be neutrino mixing, which states that a neutrino can actually be in a superposition of all 3 flavors: tau neutrino, muon neutrino, and electron neutrino. But what I was trying to say is that a tautology occurs when you define someone to be one thing and then say it is impossible to be something else in violation of that definition. If that definition you are making is of a real physical object, then it could be that your definition in the first place was incorrect. In the neutrino example, you could define something to be an electron neutrino, but incorrectly assume that this is an eigenstate of mass. In other words, assume that it will remain an electron neutrino as long as it doesn't interact with another particle or field. In the end, it is possible for something to quantum mechanically be 2 different things depending on how you define your states, but the object still has what we could call a true state, which may or may not be possible to measure. In that case, you could correctly define what state the particle is in using a state vector, for example, and then it would be impossible for that particle to be something that violates that definition. So if I correctly defined a particle to be in a superposition of two energy states, and then said it would be impossible to measure its energy to be a third and different value, that would still be a tautology. Sorry for being long-winded in my answer, but it is kind of a complicated subject in which I am only slowly becoming an expert. But in a few years, assuming all goes well, I will have a PhD in theoretical particle physics. Humans flying like birds. Yes, we may have jetpacks, but our bodies alone will never get us into the sky. We just have to force evolution so we evolve into a more bird-like species. Everyone who can't fly should not reproduce. That should get things moving along. Me finding a date. Plug in a USB on the first try. God damn it to hell. Goat. Lick your elbow. This post making the front page. Let's make this guy wrong. Because I love it when people are wrong. Undoing the past. You can never undo the past. Understanding women. Existing and not existing at the same time. I know a cat who did something almost like this.